In the land of Israel, a time of despair gripped the people. The Midianites, a fierce and oppressive nation, raided Israel's crops and livestock, leaving the Israelites in poverty and fear. The people cried out to God for deliverance, and he answered by calling an unlikely hero, Gideon. Gideon was an ordinary man, threshing wheat in a hidden winepress to keep it from the Midianites. As he worked, an angel of the Lord appeared and said, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." Startled and unsure, Gideon replied, "If the Lord is with us, why has all this happened? Where are all his wonders our ancestors told us about?" The angel said, "Go in the strength you have and save Israel out of Midian's hand. Am I not sending you?" Still doubtful, Gideon asked, "How can I save Israel? My clan is the weakest in Manasseh, and I am the least in my family." The Lord reassured him, "I will be with you, and you will strike down all the Midianites, leaving none alive." Gideon, hesitant but willing, asked for a sign. He prepared an offering of meat, bread, and broth and placed it on a rock. The angel touched the offering with his staff, and fire consumed it, confirming God's call. Even then, Gideon's faith wavered. He placed a fleece of wool on the ground, asking God to make it wet with dew while the ground stayed dry. God did as he asked. The next night, Gideon reversed the request, and again, God fulfilled it. When Gideon gathered an army to fight the Midianites, God said, "You have too many men. I cannot deliver Midian into their hands, or Israel will boast that their own strength saved them." Gideon obeyed, and reduced his army from 32,000 to 10,000. But God said, "There are still too many." He instructed Gideon to take the men to a river. Those who lapped water with their hands, like dogs, were chosen, only 300 men. With just 300 men, Gideon prepared for battle. God gave him a plan. Each man carried a trumpet, an empty jar, and a torch inside the jar. At night, they surrounded the Midianite camp. On Gideon's signal, the men blew their trumpets, smashed the jars, and shouted, "A sword for the Lord and for Gideon." The Midianites, confused and terrified, turned on each other in chaos. The survivors fled, and Gideon's small army pursued them, securing victory. The Israelites begged Gideon to rule over them, but he refused, saying, "The Lord will rule over you." Under Gideon's leadership, the land had peace for 40 years. However, after his death, the Israelites turned away from God again, forgetting the lessons of deliverance. The story of Gideon reminds us that God often uses the weak and uncertain to accomplish great things. With faith and obedience, even the least among us can overcome the greatest challenges.